Welcome in, everybody. Just starting to go live. Talk about creativity in the body. Welcome in, welcome in. I gotta wait and give some people some time. Give people a chance to go live. Or excuse me, give some people a chance to show up. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm just getting started. We're talking about the body and creativity in here. I have about an hour, but I would love to, I haven't been on live in a while, so I would love to talk to my community. It's been a while. What's going on? Hello, how are you? Welcome in. If you're new here, we talk about creativity. I take questions. I have a lot to talk about. It's been a while since I've been on live. But yeah, welcome in. Drop a hello in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Let me know what your art is. Let me know what your process is. What questions you have. I really want to talk about the relationship between creativity and the body. That's what I'm on right now. I just completed a 60-day water fast, and I'm telling everybody. Call me an insufferable millennial. I do not care. I mean, in earnestness, I just completed this 60-day water fast on behalf of my spirit, on behalf of my creativity, on behalf of my body. If you ask me, all three of those things are the same thing. If you are going through changes, if you're having a difficult time locking in, if you're getting sucked into the world in a way that you don't like, this is your sign. Hey, Carrie. Did I say 60 days? Oh my goodness. No. Oh my God. I said 60 days. I completed a 60-hour water fast. Thank you. 60-hour water fast. Yeah, no food. Only water and electrolytes. But yeah, if you have questions in general, I like to start. If you're new here, my name is Vanessa. I am a creativity consultant. I'm also an opera singer and a writer. I talk about creativity on here. Most people on the internet know you can go to my YouTube. Link is in bio. Most people on here know me for the Villain Challenge, which is like a 75 hard for creativity. It's everything that I've surveyed from ancient philosophy, mysticism, world religion, the elder creatives, everything about the wisdom and maturity necessary for the creative process. And the Villain Challenge is my claim to fame, so to speak, on the internet. And it's my sellout course. It sells out every single month that I've done it. I've been doing it for going on 3 years. And it returns after a long hiatus in September. Using my body every day to simulate my creative energy. That's exactly what we're supposed to do. So on YouTube, welcome in. Please feel free to drop some questions in the chat. Oh, thank you. I'm doing TikTok live and YouTube live. YouTube live, usually it's a little easier for me to take questions. How you doing, guys? But yeah, I wanted to talk about this water fast. Like I said, I recently completed a 60-hour water fast, and please take it from me. This is a sign. Do a fast. Your spirit needs it more than you realize. Your discipline needs it more than you realize. Your creativity needs it more than you realize. How do you find before I get into that, somebody's asking the question, how do you find a sense of purpose in your art, a sense of servitude? How do you find it? Well, this is a pillar of all of my work. If I don't care if you're a one-on-one with me, a long-term client, if you're taking a workshop, if you're taking a one-day workshop, all of my clients, all of my students will have the answer to that question. How did you find a sense of servitude? Understanding that service is the nature of being human. You do have a sense of service. I would ask you what is the highest vision of your art? What does your art want to do? Why? What is the highest vision of your art? What does your art see? What's going on with your art? The artist, Freddie says that you tend to shy away from the spotlight because of judgment. Everybody, an artist will be judged. That's the function of an artist. If you think that an artist is not being judged, frankly, you need to touch grass. I say that with love in my heart. If you think that an artist is not going to be judged, that's their function. But an artist really knows, really understands, truly understands that being judged doesn't really matter, because the spotlight is a place where the audience goes to project what's going on with them. You are an object of their healing. Said another way, if you're expecting to feel confident before you enter the arena, you're going to be waiting until the day that you die. But how did I feel after the fast? Yeah, so it'll be a little easier for me to answer the questions on YouTube. YouTube, you guys are a little bit more familiar with me. I'm rocking with you guys. I love you guys too on TikTok, but if you can find me on YouTube, the questions are a little bit easier just by the pacing of it. There's less like bots and trolls and stuff like that. Find me on YouTube. So I want to talk about this fast because it's really important to me. Like I said, I did a 60-hour water fast. And we got a question in the chat. How do I feel after the fast? Let me tell you what, buddy. Better than I have ever felt in my 38 years of life. Thank you so much, Kyle. That means a lot to me. Yes, if you could help with with the engagement. This is my full-time job, and I'm on a mission to serve God through this damn algorithm. If you can imagine such a task. I'll take it, though, compared to some of these other guys. Moses and them. Do you think fasting can help you kill an old version of yourself? Man, let me tell you what. I know for sure that it can help. I know that intellectually, academically, researching it conceptually, and then again, I just completed 60 hours just water and electrolytes. 60 hours, excuse me, I think I keep saying 60 days. It changed my life. Why did I do this? For the exact reason. Somebody said I've been in a liminal space since 2022. That's exactly why I did it. Because me too. There's some aspects of my creativity, because we all have unequal development in terms of our creativity. There's some aspects of it that are well-oiled. But I know that the good Lord, that the muse, etc., my higher self, has said there's a new plan. There's something else to do. There's something big that you need to do. And it's different than the stuff that's kind of well-oiled, the stuff that you're already doing, the Instagram content, the YouTube content, all the classes and all my clients, all that stuff that I love. There's something that I need to do that's bigger than anything that I've ever done. And so that's why I fasted. I was fast. Well, I mean, hold on, let me see what your questions are. Okay, yeah, YouTube is it, guys. YouTube is it. YouTube is it, low key. I love you, TikTok. One second, guys. I actually took notes. I took notes during the whole process because that's how my brain is. I'm always like a living experiment with myself. Helps me like learn. This is cool because I can just this is how I teach my classes. So I'll just do like as if y'all are in my classes, but it's free. So that's cool. Shameless plug. If you're in the position to donate, that would be amazing. I appreciate your support. It is not required at all. No shame, no judgment. But it helps me a lot. I'm on a mission. Any support you can provide would be wonderful. So yeah. So someone asked about the protocol. Okay, I just started a super chat goal. So someone asked about the protocol on YouTube. No food of any kind for 48 hours. My goal in doing this was autophagy. My goal in doing this was entirely spiritual. I'll get into some of my goals and the reasons why in a second. But the protocol was, I kind of intuitively led myself to this fasting process. 48 hours minimum, no food of any kind, no digestive activity of any kind. On top of that, I also established a prayer and meditation rule, which means sacrificing some comfort. So not only, in addition to doing a spiritual fast, not only, it's not just about abstinence, it's about abstinence plus giving yourself a healthy diet of spiritual food. So for me, that is meditation and prayer to God. I'm Roman Catholic. I've done a survey of all religions in my life. No notes, no criticisms, except the good Lord said, here's what we're doing. We're being Roman Catholic today and for the rest of your days. And I was like, I'm not going to argue. I've always wanted to be Catholic, but he made that happen for me this year. Anyway, so the protocol, 48 hours, no food of any kind, just electrolytes and water. That was my goal, to go up and over 48 hours. I've never done that before. I've always done like bone broth, something like that. I was remarking to myself that I've done several fasts in my life, but having done this one so strict and as locked in as I was this time, I realized that I'm a little liar. Not really, but I realized that in the past it was like, okay, I'm having water. And then, okay, let me sneak in some bone broth, or let me sneak in some lemon water, or let me just have a tiny little bite. It's only going to be 10 calories. It's not going to matter. All these little betrayals to this spiritual pursuit I didn't even realize I was doing, both in fasting and other areas of my life, until I completed this fast with 10 fucking toes down. So the protocol, again, 48 hours, just water. A prayer and meditation rule for me, I set aside time in the morning. First thing, as soon as I get up, it's called a prayer hour. Just get up. The first thing you do to the best of your ability is devoted to prayer and meditation. So that's what I did. And any time in addition to that, in terms of protocol, anything that I did in addition to that, start your day, prayer and meditation. Anytime I was hungry, I lobbed up a prayer. Like, oh, I'm starting to crave tacos and pizza and bullshit. Okay, dear Lord, I'm going to give this hunger to you. Show me what you need to show me. I invite you to nourish me in a way that I have been unwilling. What served as electrolyte, somebody is asking? Salt. Expensive salt. Mineralizing my water, that's it. No special tablets. Minimal, unexciting, that's it. In addition, in my protocol, I also prepared myself with some quotes, some readings, meditations, YouTube videos, history lessons, contemplation, essays, think pieces from all of the ancient, not all of them, but a few ancient mystics and contemplatives who have gone through the fasting process, who have wisdom about the fasting process, to feel this kind of camaraderie spiritually with people who are long since deceased, who also maybe in the 15th, 16th century, in the 4th century, before that, 3000 BCE, whatever, these comrades in spiritual journeying who are like, you know what we're doing today? We're fasting. And there's lots of that written down, and I think it's really important. So that was my protocol. I think it's also worth saying, how did I prepare? I prepared for the fast intuitively. I'll get into that in a little bit, but I was intuitively like on a journey of listening to my body, which is partly how I got into this fast. I was intuitively just listening to my body, eating micronutrients, fruits, vegetables, whole foods, according to what I was craving. I've had lots of experience, and I want to do a video on this later. But I've had lots of experience where if I just commit to intuitive eating for 7 days, track what my intuition is guiding me to eat, and then I can, after I've done all of that, I can work backwards from everything that my body was craving and learn something about my body. That I have, several months ago, I did an intuitive eating challenge, and Did that. Well, I restricted a few things, as is good to do when you're doing some sort of healthy eating protocol, sugar, alcohol, stuff like that, gluten. And then I listened to what my body was craving, took note of it. And after 7 days, everything that I was craving, I was working with my acupuncturist on this. And we're like, yeah, based on what your body is craving, girl, you might have PCOS. That's how wise the body is. Anyway, so I was kind of set up in that because my body was really uncomfortable. My creativity was really stuck, etc. So I was kind of set up. But then I decided that I was going to fast. And when I decided I was going to fast, it was a Wednesday. And then, so Wednesday and Thursday, I cut out all insulin spiking food. So all sugar, all carbs. And I was just eating protein and fat to the best of my ability. I wasn't being 100% strict, but I tried to limit it significantly. And then Friday, when I woke up on Friday, so Thursday night was my last meal. Friday began my fast, including the fast overnight. So why did I fast? Fasting for spiritual reasons. I have been feeling, this is going to sound weird, I don't care, but I like you guys, and so I'm going to invite you into my heart a little bit and be vulnerable if I'm allowed to do that. Oh my gosh, I just saw this. Thank you for the gift. That's extraordinary. Man, let me tell you what, just as an aside, thank you so much. You put your ass out there. Putting your ass on the internet or into the world at all, into the arena for your creativity is never not scary. This stuff is my full-time job, but seeing support like the one I just got, it always knocks me on my face. Thank you very much. It means a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Yeah, and thank you for the likes, everybody. It means a great deal. I started to fast. The answer is, why did I start to fast? The question is, why did I start to fast? For number one, for spiritual reasons. There was something on my heart, something moving. I talk to a lot of creative people a lot in my life. I have dozens of clients right now. I have even more students that I take care of in workshops and everything like that. And everybody's getting their ass kicked. Everyone is feeling a little bit more isolated than what they're used to. Everyone is feeling like things are shifting. And it's a little tumultuous. It's not bad because we're a little bit stronger than what we used to be maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. But something is happening right now. And here's what I'm going to tell you, what I believe the good Lord is telling me. Please check in with your intuition above mine. But I have been almost to the point of tears having this conversation with my close friends, so I'm going to share it with you. That God is telling me to practice hearing my voice now, while it's easy. And that while it's easy part scares me. That's what I'm hearing. I don't want to be alarmist, but why am I fasting? Because it was just time for me I became Catholic in April. I've wanted to be Catholic for like the last 10 years. And so it's like, now it's like, okay, you're not Catholic and now you just sit there and go to church. Now you're Catholic because you have to begin a journey. You discover God. You discover that God is real, which is an uphill thing. You discover how to submit to God, which is an uphill thing. You discover that God loves you, which is probably the most uphill thing that there is. Then once you pass that level of video game, now you have to work. And that work is not easy. And they won't like you for doing the work. And it requires humility to do the work, lest you turn into the countless millions of people who have distorted Christianity and become the most cringy, annoying, judgmental Christians you've ever seen in your life, let alone the Christians who have been so hypocritical that they've turned people away from the church. But I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm Catholic despite all this nonsense going on. Nobody likes Christians. I'm doing it anyway. So I need to get closer to God. But there is something almost ominous on my spirit in the last month or so that said, you need to practice hearing my voice. You're not as good at it yet as you think you are. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to fast. So that's the part of the why. Why else? I have this ongoing thesis in my work, and I run an online school for creatives. I have a bunch of one-on-one clients that, I help them sort of labor their creative projects of all varieties. And there's a series that's developing on my YouTube now. It's called Body of Work. The thesis for that is something I always say to all of my students, all my clients, is that creativity is not chased. Flow state is not chased. Creativity, the vision, the desire, none of it's chased. The feeling of being creative, the arrival into creativity itself, the sense of belonging. Creativity is not chased. Creativity is hosted by the body. And so that thesis of mine that I'm developing, I've been working on it for months, is called Body of Work, where I talk about the body as a linchpin between the spiritual and the creative. It's also this project of mine to do what I do, which is to make accessible some of these ancient philosophical concepts, these intense, ancient spiritual ideas, and make them accessible for the modern artist. All of the ancient traditions insist, one, that creativity is spiritual, and two, that the body is necessary not only for creativity, but necessary for spirituality. And ask yourself, I always ask my clients and my students this, ask yourself if you feel stuck in your creativity, stuck in your spirituality, and stuck in your body in some way. All three of those things happening concurrently. Ask yourself if that's true of you. And I invite you, as God invites me, to interrogate the relationship between those three things. Can solving one solve the other? Is solving one solving all three because they're all the same thing? And the answer is yes. And so why did I do this fast? For spiritual reasons, for my creativity. That despite my best intentions, things were not moving according to the vision that I have for my creativity. Despite my best intentions, and my intentions are mighty. I am little Miss Leap of Faith, little Miss Fuck It. I've been full-time on the internet, starting shit, trying shit in the arena, so to speak, for a few years now. And so there is this habit, this process that I have about creativity that is well-oiled, that gets me pretty far. No complaints. I'm doing pretty good. The position that I have, the process that I have, the capacity, the courage that I have, et cetera, are things that people would envy. And that's fine. That's also something that can get your ass caught up, get you stuck. And I was starting to feel that, not necessarily in a bad way, but I can hear the assignment. I can see the vision, this next thing that I want to do. I could feel intuitively. I wrote this down. I took notes. I'm reading you my little journal, so please be kind. I can feel intuitively that I need to become different on behalf of the thing that I need to do. Does anyone relate to that? Oh, Christian, thank you. I'm so glad. I can feel intuitively that I need to become different on behalf of the thing that I need to do. And the subtext of that is that I was not becoming different. Yes, beyond wanting the result of my creativity, I wrote, but the way forward is still something that I resist. So there's this vision that I know that I want. And yes, I'm willing. Yes, that's a great idea. Yes, I can't believe I was given this inspiration and this idea. Yes, I want it, which is a journey to get there in the first place, but I was there. But then what I still observed is that the way forward, which is arduous, labored, requires commitment, it's uphill, I was resisting it, despite all of my best effort. Another big reason, said another way, that I was attached to the old path. New goal, new summit, new destination, still traveling on the old path. Answering the question, why did I fast? Another big reason, perhaps the most important, is I just felt called. I can't explain it. I just felt called. There's some things where it's mystical and you can't explain it and you really don't want to. But now I'm doing it now because I think it's an important exercise of integration, and also I seem to be going through this curriculum in life to share it with other people. So I'm happy to do that. But I just felt called. And again, so I opened this talk about fasting to say that if you feel called to fast, this is your sign. There was also clues at the level of the body. I found myself, this is really important, in my body, just in terms of why did I fast, I felt myself at a dead end in terms of certain things in my body: inflammation, acne, gut issues, PCOS adjacent symptoms. What do I mean when I say dead end? That nothing that I was doing to fix it was working. And this part is very important. The only solutions that I was seeking for everything going on in my body put me on another loop. Like, oh my God, I'm going to keep Googling this thing. Oh my God, I've got to get this supplement. Oh my God, I got to try this protocol. I've got to add and add and add and add. And I've got to go here and get this. And I've got to adhere to this. And what did we say at the beginning? My thesis about the body of work, that creativity is not chased. You don't chase after it, because that implies within you a belief that you are not already creative, or that you are not creative enough now. But God is the creator, and we were made in his image. That makes all of us, in the beginning, God created. I am creative. We are creatures. The dignity given to me as a human being is found within my capacity to create. And so here I am acting outside of my nature because of the clues in my body. I'm doing all this shit for inflammation. I'm finding, oh my God, I'm getting fascinated with another supplement and another herb and another protocol and peptides and watching the videos. And it started to feel claustrophobic, quite literally, in my body, in my system. I wrote that managing this information only added to my sense of paralysis. Fixing myself only added to my sense of paralysis. So why am I going to keep doing that? What in the fuck sense does that make? I always say this to my students and to my clients. You learn how to tap out of the self-help industrial complex. All of this stuff, for example, a fear of being seen that people think that they have, limerence, and all these pseudo-pop New York Times best-selling psychological terms that you think are congenital, that you have confused for congenital diseases like imposter syndrome. You getting online in the middle of the night to see some person, to scroll haphazardly through your phone, to see someone tell you that you have a fear of being seen, does knowing that help you get your art done, or do you feel further paralyzed? Is there resonance for you in understanding it? Yes, that's the trick. Or in spiritual terms, that's the Faustian trade. That's the temptation. Did this help me get back on track to know that I have a fear of being seen? Or am I further paralyzed, either by just knowing that or feeling ashamed about it, or now I'm trying to fix something that might not even be broken? Similarly, my body was inflamed, gut issues, acne flaring, and like I was 16 years old. My acne, I have some hormonal acne right now, but acne completely cleared up. We'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, finally, why else did I do this fast? Because like I said this earlier, I'm known online for the Villain Challenge, among other things. The Villain Challenge is my bread and butter course. It's the most successful course that I teach. It's the sellout course. It's huge. It's fun. It's the easiest, most accessible way to get into my classroom. The Villain Challenge is like 75 hard, but for creativity. It's a 30-day challenge and course intensive with me, where I teach everything about the creative process, how I wish I would have learned it. It's contained within my school that I started online for artists. It's a virtual school for artists, like a fake, affordable graduate program for artists. We're in summer school right now. In the fall semester, we start the difficult work again. One of those things is the Villain Challenge. I'm starting that in September. This is the third year that I'm doing it. Every time before I do it, I always do it by myself to kind of stay in integrity, because I believe in the work. It works. It's changed my life. It's changed. I just counted with my team the other day. Almost 800 people have done it. Another 300 people have done it through the PDF. Another 100 or so have done it privately, coached with me. Anyway, what are the rules for the Villain Challenge? And this will explain why I'm doing the fast. A daily 45-minute workout, daily 45 minutes in your creative work, daily villain morning pages, journaling every single day in the voice of your villain, which I teach you how to discover in the class. Daily maintaining, I call it the villain lair, maintain an impeccable creative space for 30 days. So clean your creative space every single day. Make it a ritualistic, make it monastic, make it devotional. Villain purification, pick a vice and abstain every single day for 30 days. And then finally, a villain meditation. Meditate at least 10 minutes a day. So that's the villain challenge. Those are the rules. In addition, in the challenge, just so you know, this year there's 5 lectures with me plus 2 office hours. There's a bunch of other stuff that you get in. It's a very intensive college level course that you cannot fail, if you can imagine such a thing. But a big part of that class is these rules, the embodiment of creative maturity. I have this feeling, to answer why did I fast, I had this sense that this year is going to be crazy. And I just know that I wanted to fast and get clear before August 1st, which is when I do this villain challenge privately for myself. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like the more creative people that I meet, the more the quality of artists that comes through my classroom is increasing month after month. And I've been doing this for years. That does not mean that the quality of artist is more impressive. They have more pedigree. They have more accomplishments. In most cases these days, actually, I find artists who are so damn talented, but they haven't spent a single day taking themselves seriously as an artist. They're a corporate girly. They've been a single mom for the last 30 years. They're a divorced dad. There have been whatever, caretaking, whatever. But their raw talent is extraordinary. And that's my assignment, is to get people who do not believe in themselves into the arena. And the villain challenge is me giving you as much possible fucking encouragement, more encouragement I would wager than you've ever had in your life. That requires a lot from me. God says that's my gift, and so I will be obedient. So that's probably the last reason why I'm fasting, to get ready for the fall. I think it worked. So what was the fast like? We'll get into that. The first 16 hours were very hard. The first 16 hours after I woke up, I was hungry, and I found myself in my head a lot. Like craving food, just constantly thinking about it too. This ravenous little voice in my head thinking about food, hunger, distractions, intrusive thoughts about food. But I was committed. I was locked in, and not at the level of wanting to complete a goal, but locked in at the level of God told me to do it. And so because I had that conviction, I didn't really struggle. So because it was this interesting relationship, this is probably the first thing that I learned, talking about what I learned from this fast. Because I committed to this fast at the level of God, frankly, I didn't have anything to worry about. I was like, well, I'm not going to fucking, if you're trying to lose 10 pounds, that's different. That's a little harder. It's easy for you to escape because you're just kind of pursuing your own goal. But I was pursuing a relationship with God. One of my favorite things that I learned about Moses, again, as a recent convert to Catholicism, I learned that Moses was called to the mountain to get the new codes and the laws. And he was like, okay, I need to fast for 40 days and 40 nights, food and water, to prepare to be in the presence of God. I feel that way about my creativity, by the way. I'm not here to evangelize for Catholicism. I'm here to talk about your creativity. I believe that my inspiration, I believe this for all of you, that your inspiration is terrifying, intimidating. It's taken you a long time because it's not just painting. It's not just a haiku. It's not just getting your Patreon set up. It's you being in the presence of God and the reason you were born. That's challenging. Moses fasted knowing that he would have to go to the top of that mountain. Moses fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. Like, okay, this is what I got to do. So I'm like, let me try that. Because I locked in at that level, I was given this opportunity to simply experience myself. I didn't have to worry because I was locked in with a serious spiritual undergirdle to support me. I didn't have any chance of falling, which is the first takeaway. I felt this support from a higher being, willy-nilly, within the first 16 hours. Within that, I was then given the grace to notice my behaviors, to notice my desires. This little voice like food, sugar, oh my God, tacos, pizza, all just coming in like a mile a minute for the first 16 hours. The first 16 hours was really hard. At the same time, I'm going to say this. At the same time, the first 16 hours were not that hard. And I say that because all of these things that you want to do, that you're afraid to do, this locking in that you think you cannot do, there is an aspect of your being that says you can't do it. It's going to be too hard for you. There's a voice that says craving, rest, stop. But then in that experience, I also found this whole reservoir underneath that level of myself that was like, girl, you're fine. You're relax. Relax. We're talking about fasting. How you doing? Relax. I discovered that layer of myself. And so at the same time, I noticed the version of myself that was struggling, and I noticed the part of myself that was killing. And I was like, well, this is interesting because I've been living at the level of this is really difficult. Does that make sense? The hardest part of the fast was dinner time. So I woke up in the morning ready to go, and I'm feeling hungry. I'm like, I'm walking past all the croissant places and the breakfast and all this, and I could just, well, let me just have a coffee with a little bit of sugar in it, just feeling all this intrusive thought, but I made it. Dinner was a lot harder for whatever reason. So when I got to the evening, about 7 p.m. or so, I was ravenous, distracted, couldn't sit still. And I was just making hot water with tea in it and with hot water with salt in it, just moving around, washing the teacups, just trying to keep myself busy, just really losing my mind, having to sit up and be like, God, help me. What is this? I feel like I'm dying. And it hasn't even been 24 hours yet. I'm really losing my mind. It's embarrassing. Dinner time was the hardest part because you're like going outside and you're seeing people at happy hour, having margaritas. It's Friday night, having to turn down invites from friends. To break up the energy, what happened? I broke up the energy by taking a shower because I'm like, I have nothing else to do. Nothing else to do. I'm going to take a shower. And for whatever reason, that got me out of that cleared it. And everybody knows that water is going to do that for you. But I took a shower and that was it. And then I found a Xanax level of relaxation. I was just floating like, wow. And then so I got really quiet, turned out the lights, started my prayer and meditation for the evening. I was like, okay, there's something here. Wow, it's not just about food. All that time when I was hungry, trying to Google things to support myself, researching support stories, before and after photos of girls who lost 45 pounds in 2 days from a fast, all that stuff that you think is going to inspire you. Ravenous, like just working my way through that ravenously. And then I felt something settle. You could say probably things like autophagy or insulin, levels balancing, stuff like that, getting closer to fat adaptation. But because again, I had this spiritual level of engaging with this fast, I felt a little bit spookier. Then let me tell you what happened. The sleep was the best sleep of my life. I woke up from that sleep like, what? I woke up just like, like I could, like I was like, if sleep was sitting right here, I was going to make out with it. It was the most satisfying, delicious sleep. And so the next day, Saturday morning, I'm bipping and bopping around, having the time of my life. Just like, oh my God, just energy. Couldn't believe it. And then the same thing happened. So this gets me to Saturday. Same thing happened on Saturday, where I was just full of energy. Couldn't believe it. I could feel my hunger. I was hungry, but not that hungry. More importantly, what I felt is it's almost like, like imagine if you set a meditation goal, you want to meditate. Somebody who's meditated for years says they notice their thoughts and they bat them away. That's what fasting just for 24 hours had given me. I'd noticed this hunger. I could feel it in my body. I could feel the thoughts that just even yesterday were consuming me. Then those fasting thoughts, I could just bat away like, oh. And then what I noticed on day 2 is that every single time I resisted the cravings, every single time I resisted, I felt myself get stronger. I was like, deep, not in a deep place, in a part of my being that I didn't know that I had. It just got easier. And then there was momentum deeper than the level of the mind. I just felt every time I passed a croissant shop, every time I opened my fridge and I saw all the stuff in there, just closed it. And I felt what the saints, what the great mystics say about fasting is that fasting will strengthen your will. That fasting is a type of active purgation. Active purgation meaning actively participating in grace to strengthen the will. You strengthen your body's capacity to cooperate with your soul, said yet another way. You strengthen your body's capacity to cooperate with your soul. And I started to feel that after 24 hours. I was bursting with energy. Some things that I got from it. One second. Some things that I got from it were I had some of the best conversations with my friends I've ever had in my life. There's something about that I noticed that I was really humiliated about, by the way, noticing how much my desires, my hunger, served obviously as things that we know about, like numbing, distraction. But what I really did not expect, that stuff I know about myself, what I did not expect is that eating and all sorts of desires in the body became a way of hiding from me. Oh, I should probably call my friend, see how she's doing. She had a baby. She just went through a breakup. I could really use some advice. It's going to require me to be vulnerable with somebody that I really care about, someone that I look up to. I missed that person's birthday. I should call them. Realizing how much the desires of my body, hunger, for example, eating, of course, like I said, numbs things away, but it makes me hide, not present for people in my life. That I did not expect. After that, so the fast ended. I pushed until 60 hours. I felt intuitively just to stop, and I ended the fast with bone broth. I just had like 8 ounces of bone broth. And yeah, I'm just looking through my notes. Some things that have changed and have not changed since I stopped is the level of clarity that I have, the level of stability. What I noticed, again, this whole thing is not necessarily about spiritual convictions. It's about my creativity. I did this for creative reasons. That I noticed that my creative journey was following this ebb and flow, this up and down. And I was calling that creativity. I was calling this high that creativity or conditioned to chase me being a seasoned creative. But what I realized is that actually there was a stability that I was capable of and that I should have. And what did that teach me? That I didn't feel this ebb and a flow. That meant that I could trust the actual intensity of my legitimate emotions versus this hormonal food-driven ebb and flow. That means if I was feeling sad, even in these 60 hours, that means I should trust that sadness and listen to it. If I'm angry, that means that is important. It's not given to me by some external thing. And it also means that if I'm happy, that's important too. That the fast gave me a level of stability that strengthened my lucidity, resolve. The size of my downloads got really big. I said this in class the other day, but it's as if like the channel of my creativity was coming through a straw this wide. After the fast, it now feels this way. I have continued the fast. I eat food now, obviously, but I still do not eat sugar at all. So I've been 0 sugar, 0 alcohol, 0 carbs, 20 grams of carbs per day, to the best of my ability, between 20 and 40. Doing that since I ended the fast on Sunday. No signs of stopping. I'm not going to do this forever, but I do want to continue practicing this. It's like what I feel about this point is from a spiritual perspective. I don't want to just get everything from God and then just go back to eating pizza. I want to give myself the opportunity to practice the things, the virtues, the tools, the clarity, the grace that God has given me, to practice relating to my creativity like this on my own without the full fast. Like I think any addiction, it's easier to abstain than it is to, say, if you're dealing with alcoholism. It's easier to abstain altogether than it is to have one and stop yourself after one. And I feel that my creativity needs me to kind of do this on my own. But yeah, I mean, that's a little bit, I have a lot more to say, but I'll stop there because I got to go. Parasites. Yes, parasites. Gina. Thank you for this, guys. I got to run, but please like and follow, subscribe, all of that. The Villain Challenge starts up September 1st. It's going to sell out. I'm starting early this year. I'm just going to sell early this year because I think I want to fill it up by before the month starts. If you go to my link in bio, you will see a sign up sheet or a sign up list, a wait list. Anyone who's on the wait list gets 25% off and early access. But yeah, okay. Thank you guys. I got to go. And thank you again for the gift.